Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the Namibian National Anthem and the AU. Thank you very much. You may be seated. And once again, these beautiful angels from the school of Mandume and this wonderful teacher, Mutsa. Thank you so much. They are absolutely gorgeous. Everybody put your hands together for this beautiful choir from Mandume School.
Good evening, everyone. We'll have a few more songs for us. Let's just say hi to everyone. Let's wave. Hi. Wonderful. So you can proceed with your songs, and we're excited to hear them.
If you see the rainbow,
Wow, another round of applause for them. Thank you so much. Thank you. Well done, well done. Thank you so much for the beautiful songs. Thank you.
Oh, please put your hands together for our beautiful angels from the Mandume Children's Choir. Thank you, Teacher Mutsa, and to our director. Wow, that was absolutely beautiful. Thank you, thank you. Bye. We'll see you later. Welcome, everybody, to the African Child Development Trust. We are here tonight building a brighter future for Namibian children. The African Child Development Trust, this is a new home for inspiration and for raising money to make sure that our children are educated around the country. A very, very warm welcome, all protocol observed, but firstly to our Honourable Deputy Minister, Faustina Cayley, for being with us tonight in the absence of our patron, Honourable Esther Anna Ngampondoka. She's unable to be with us tonight, but thank you. Thank you so much for joining us. Faustina, we really appreciate it. We have another honored guest here, His Excellency from France, Mr. Sébastien Minot, and of course, our UNICEF country manager. She's a sister of education and looking after all the children. Thank you so much, Rachel Odete. We really appreciate you being here tonight as well. And to each and every one of you for making the effort here tonight. It's not going to be a long night. If I'm master of ceremonies, I make sure that it's concise and quick, and we enjoy our food, and we have a good time, but we're here for a good purpose. So we're going to ask you to dig deep into your pockets a little bit later, but not only that, we're going to ask you to take this message with you into wherever you're going, your workplace, your family, that this is so important. Let me give you a little bit of a background. When I was approached by Maggie, a dear friend of mine, from Namibia Media Holdings, and introduced me to Albie, and we spoke about this project. Of course, you know that education is very dear to my heart. When I won Miss Universe in 1992, I kept to my promise when the last question was, and it sounds so cliche, what are you going to do if you win Miss Universe? And I said, well, actually in the last question they said, what would you do if you were made leader of your country? And it sounds so cliche, right? I'm going to save the world. I'm going to look after the children. But I answered and I said, I would look after the children because they are our future. And I kept to that promise 30 years later. We have raised over 40 million Namibian dollars in that time. We have a school in Ochimuze that sees 1,200 children every year since 2000. And this is just another example of what we can do in this country. So with the Michelle McLean Children Trust working hand in hand, together with the African Child Development Trust, I urge you, I appeal to you to please support us, because this is what it's about. When I heard the background of what they were doing, especially during COVID, I was just blown away. Sitting in Miami, I live in Miami, but I now work with the NIPDB, the Namibian Investment Promotions Development Board, and I'm an ambassador for ONL. And what I'm trying to do is bring investment and tourism into the country in Namibia to raise awareness of how beautiful Namibia is. But in that process, every time people visit here, They put money back into our communities. And tonight we have many friends. You know, there's the Wealth and Equality Trust. I've got my friend Gero here. There's a representative from Rotary. There are so many people in our communities that we can reach out to and we can partner with. We are not silos. I'm not a silo. The Michelle McLean Children Trust did not operate on its own. It's only because of everybody's support, the government, the private sector, that we were able to be successful. So I appeal to you to just reach out to your networks and make this work, because this is what they've done to date. Now, we know that the government has, put policies in place for inclusivity of education. Isn't that amazing? Because we have 11 different ethnic groups, 11 different languages. No, there's 13 different ethnic groups and 11 different languages. Now, that is quite a feat in terms of getting children from early childhood development into normal schooling process. Not only that, we have the problem of wide open spaces in Namibia. Not that it's a problem for us, because tourism, that's fantastic, but to get access to education for many people in this country, for children, is really a huge problem. And so Namibia Media Holdings, together with the Ministry of Education, Arts and Culture, have partnered, and what we are doing together is this. We are taking this objective to the next level. So the education project was started in 2020 during the closure of the schools, during the pandemic, and it really opened the eyes to the educational needs in many parts of the country, the informal education areas that are not registered even. The project grew and continued, and education materials are distributed to learners in pre-primary, grade 1, grade 2, and grade 3. And grade's entire curriculum is covered over 36 weeks with quality assured activities. There are over 2,800 worksheets. Now, the reason why Namibia Media Holdings is doing this is because printing costs a lot. And these children don't have access to internet all over the country. How else are they going to get the curriculum? So this is, they have closed the gap here. And this is, I just get goosebumps. I get so excited because now each child has an opportunity in Namibia to be educated. The reason why they don't give the whole workbook for the whole year is because in many of these rural areas, they literally are sitting under trees in very small little huts to be able to be educated through a teacher, and they don't have place to store books. So this is why they do it over a 36-week period. But they do it within, if I'm not mistaken, Albie, but you can explain it later, every couple of weeks, the distribution, when they take the distribution of newspapers around the country, these workbooks are distributed to the various areas that are in need, which I just find absolutely amazing. So every lesson is recorded online and onto the Joshi online website. There are also 880 online lessons freely available from them. They reach over 360,000 children weekly in 12 languages. So, this is like, and the importance of each child being able to speak their home language, especially in early child learning, and I learned that through the Michelle McLean Children Trust, is that it sets them up, it's the foundation. They need to learn in their home language, and then they can move on in grade 1 and 2 to be able to speak English. We can't expect them all to speak English from the get-go. So since this project started, it's going to 14 regions in Namibia, and 12 million books have been distributed. So over 900 schools and over 500 early learning childhood development centers are reached daily. So this center consists mostly of daycare or kindergarten facilities with unqualified teachers and extremely limited resources. So these books, the reason why you're here tonight, it's so important that it gets out there because there's no other resource for this. And we are assisting our wonderful government that is really trying their utmost. But how do you get it out there to each and every person? And that's why Namibia Media Holdings is doing this phenomenal job. So this also equips each and every teacher, and even though they're informal teachers, they're not even totally qualified, They are there doing a duty, a service to their community, and we are just so grateful to be a part of that. So I'm going to hand over to someone very important tonight who is going to tell you maybe a little bit more about that. But I get so excited that I just carry on and on and on and on. So, but without further ado, Albie Botha, CEO of Namibia Media Holdings, is somebody I knew about for a very long time, but I only met him and his wonderful wife the other night. And I was just really blown away. Maggie told me all about this project. And I said, I will be an ambassador for this project. This is something that we need to do for the country, but we all need to be ambassadors for this project, not just people stepping out there in the media and saying and waxing lyrical. We all need to be a part of this for our future leaders of this country. So without further ado, a gentleman who was born in a small town in Tsumeb, and Hale, you have done such great things. You're very passionate about education. And without further ado, I'd like to invite you on stage. Please welcome Mr. Albie Botha.
So tonight the children were singing, and they were singing about how blessed we are as a country. And on the way here, my wife showed me the double rainbow, so we must be doubly blessed. So thank the Lord for blessing us as a country indeed. Honourable Christina Kelly, Deputy Minister of Education, Arts and Culture, Your Excellencies, members of the diplomatic communities, captains of industries, distinguished guests, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight I'm extremely humbled to stand here. I may be the coordinating Chief Executive Officer of Namibia Media Holdings, but my active involvement is so minute in this project that I'm most probably not the most qualified person to stand here tonight, but I have been asked to stand here. So allow me 5 minutes. It is time. It is time we invest in long-term investments. Long-term investments in human capital development, not just in capital development. It is time we find long-term solutions to education. Education that starts to focus on early childhood development and not just trying to manage matric results. It is time we help and be part of the solution to develop people from early age, to ensure that people have a better chance to complete school and not just focus on those who are lucky enough to complete school. It is time we challenge our concept on the term return on investment. For the record, I'm a chartered accountant by profession, so I'm totally unqualified actually tonight to make this speech. Not every cent you spend in life will directly benefit you. And that notion that every time we spend a dollar that we have to find a return on investment is most probably one of the most selfish things ever thought of by a human being. Sometimes the benefits of investment, and only sometimes, may reach your children. And if you're lucky, your grandchildren. But it's not whether your children or grandchildren are going to meet the benefits, it's whether the society in general is a better place. As Namibia is a very diverse country, one of the main aims of this project has been to ensure that no child is left behind. I repeat, no child is left behind. We've had to manage many protocols observed to make sure that we get to early childhood development centers, those that are registered as well as those who are not registered, because it's not the child's fault that an ECD is not registered. I sometimes don't quite understand policy. The project then makes sure that when we did and print these books, that we didn't just go and print a whole lot of books, because that's what we can do. We can print a lot of books. We can print 360,000 books every week. We made sure that every single book went to every single child. So we had surveys done of every single school, of every single ECD, to make sure that we knew not just how many children were in a grade, but how many children were speaking which language? 12 languages to be exact. English, Oshikwanyama, Oshindongu, Chereru, Khoekhoegowab, Afrikaans, Rokongwali, Romanyu, Shilozi, Timbukushu, German, and most probably the most important, sign language. Yes, there is still 2 or 3 languages that we can do. The challenge for us as partners in this thing is to find resources, people on the ground that can help us to do this project. We worked very, very closely with teachers from the Ministry of Education. This was critical for us. This wasn't our project to decide what the curriculum would be. This was the Ministry of Education and dedicated teachers on all these languages that worked with NIET to make sure that the curriculum, letter for letter, page for page, tick for tick, is ticked off to the last point, 100% aligned to the Namibian curriculum for 36 weeks in 12 languages. It took us to take hands with the Ministry of Education. It wasn't easy always, and this is my message. It takes time and effort to find solutions to the challenges this country may have, because we have many challenges. We far too often, I put up my hand, us included, have a lot to say on the front pages of our newspapers, what is wrong. I'm very critical about why that is like this and why that is like that. And we all have a lot to say at that moment. But when it comes to the solutions and hard work, we literally disappear. So from 2020 to 21, as previously said, we've reached over 360,000 children daily in 12 languages in all 14 regions, over 12 million books. We spent over 50,000 hours in development time to make this happen. We've traveled more than 1.2 million kilometers in this time to make sure that we reach every corner of this country on a daily basis. We reached over 900 schools, over 500 ECDs, which for the record is about 60% of all the childhood development children. But yet there are still 2,000 ECDs we haven't reached, the smaller ones. It's a real challenge to get to everybody. We spent and designed, Teacher Mutse was earlier here, she's been the voice of SOSI. We've made over 18,000 minutes of online training. Yes, we do recognize and we do acknowledge that the future is online. But far too often, funders, individuals, people live for tomorrow and forget about today. The reality on the ground is that Reach Online does not reach 5% of the children. So 95% of our children are dedicated and required to reach through print. The irony is print is still the best way to learn. The concept of motion and pen and paper is extremely powerful and extremely important. We have spent a lot of time on the academic side of this education, and the project is where it is. But we have to be fair. Education is a lot more than just going to school. It requires us to have an holistic approach on education, the social, emotional, cognitive, and physical needs. And that's why NMH, Namibia Media Holdings, have realized that this project, and trust me, we've done a lot, requires more input. It requires bigger input. It requires more people to be involved. This project is too big for NMH. And yes, we have traveled 1.2 million. And yes, we have printed 12 million books. And yes, we do reach 360,000 children every day. This project is too big for NMH alone. And in the spirit of working together, tonight is the first step in that regard. And that's why there's an independent trust being launched, so that as Namibians, we can work together in making this country a better place. We talk a lot, but I think it's time that we talk less. It's time that we stop blame shifting. It's time that we stop arguing about the concept of free, affordable education as if it's a political ball that we can play. And they start making it a reality. The Republic of Namibia and this government at large spends billions every year, and they are totally committed to education. There's no doubt about that. But it requires more than just the Republic to be part of the solution. requires corporate Namibia, international donors, independent donors, international funds to be part of the solution. We have come a very, very long way as a government and as a country, but there's a long way to go. So, a lot of people hear the word $2.50. So we designed these books for $2.50. We developed the books for $2.50. We printed the books for $2.50. We delivered it to every corner of the country for $2.50. Made sure that there were over 800 hours of online learning for $2.50. The irony is if you are part of the solution, the current one, you will find very glossy textbooks that cost $300-400 one, and then photocopies are made, and each photocopy, one page, costs $2.50. So to find solutions in this education program, it does cost money. But it's not just about throwing money behind this. It's about making sure that we're not just cost effective, but extremely cost effective. This is newspaper, not fancy paper. Why? Because it's a worksheet. It's something that children will do, finish, and throw away. We spend hundreds of dollars on a very fancy textbook that does exactly the same, and we end up and realize that we can't reach everybody because that book costs $200-300 Namibian dollars, not $2.50. And so part of the solution on every level, whether it's distribution, printing, design, is to fight the costs absolutely. And by doing that, we can be part of the solution with the Republic of Namibia and the Ministry for Free Education. So time is up. I'm sure I spoke a bit more than 5 minutes. But in this 5 minutes, we would have designed, printed, developed, delivered 18 books, which is the requirement for a year's curriculum for a child. And we did that 360,000 times last year. So let's give a round of applause to all those individuals that was part of the solution. And we invite you tonight to be part of this wonderful road. I can guarantee you it is by far, and I repeat, by far the most rewarding thing I've ever done. And I do understand numbers, that I can guarantee you. So let us now look at this education project in perspective. It's a video we created for 5 minutes. Thank you so much for being here tonight. Thank you so much for your support. I think Michelle also made the comments earlier. This is just the beginning. For us is sharing the story and making sure that we're all part of the solution as a country. Thank you so much. Oh yes, I apologize. Big mistake. Oh, I lose it. I apologize. This project is tonight is definitely looking for more partners. But I would have made a big mistake of not recognizing the partners that we've had to date. And I'm going to do it in order of engagement. And first and foremost, the Amos Meerkat School, which was a project that was reaching 4,000 children, which we were part of. And that initiated this process. And that's how we started. So thanks to them. Secondly, the online team and the Zoshi team and the MyZone team, driven by Octavio Tsibes, who was the person who put up the hand and said to the Ministry of Education, we can make this work. Someone that's in her 20s. Thirdly, it was UNICEF. UNICEF that realized in the time of COVID how important education was in very difficult times, and who greatly supported us, specifically the Ministry of Education in that time. Fourthly, the Namibian Community Trust, who was there from the beginning. Thank you to Sanlam for their support, and of late, very importantly, Capricorn Foundation, who has been our partner. Thank you so much for that support. Two other institutions who were key was the Ministry of Education, Arts and Culture, and not just at management and at leadership level and at ministerial level, but at teaching level. We worked with close to 100 teachers to make this happen. and then NEET, an institution that's responsible for the development of the curriculum of this country, and working very closely with him. Without these individuals, institutions, and people, this project would have still just been a dream. And therefore, thank you for allowing us to make this dream a reality. Thank you so much.
COVID-19 also came to highlight again once more the issues that we are constantly trying to address, and that is inequalities. And therefore the ministry, really we are appealing to the Friends of Education, to corporate entities to join us in helping us to roll out either on-learning or e-learning to our students.
Quickly realized the issue is a lot bigger than just not reaching children, but children has to or have to continue with education. And a lot was written in the media, including our own media, about online that won't reach children. And we realized that online is part of the solution. But without making sure that we can physically get workbooks to children, we would only be reaching 5 to 10% of the population. And so we actively, when Republic of Namibia and the Ministry of Education by default asked who would like to help them, we put up our hands straight away and said, we are there to serve you. And I'm very proud to be part of that project.
If you look into this story, how ignorant were we that we could not give this booklet for free like we did it here in the COVID time?
Learning should continue in all the AU countries. And we are really, really appreciative of your company for having come on board with offers even of giving some functions, free of charge. That's something that you cannot expect from a big company who is profit-oriented. Yeah. But you are there to come in and say it's education for all, it's our children. And even when we are asking a charge, it's very, very minimal. It's really something that we would have appreciated, especially this part of the print part is something that was giving us a problem with our stakeholders. Everybody was saying this e-learning is only promoting the children of the elite and all these things. And then we come up and say, but we are trying our best. But now this is reaching more children than maybe those that are on e-learning.
We are receiving these booklets from Media Holdings, and we are very impressed with the quality of the information inside.
And I can say really these booklets are very, very helpful.
Dit is 'n goeie inisiatief wat geneem is om ons te ondersteun, veral in hierdie tyd ook nou.
And they are very effective, honestly. They are colorful and the learners can see.
I think it's a very good initiative and our learners they are really benefiting from it.
Viuguriswa mbi byaro bina hepero no masa kwete fa ungurisa shinene andari leshime hingire nai
ndenjwa khaneroko nakuje ayixose kayise kayiqai bajere khokta covid type ay khanina bajere ngaba type ay jenenjwa khaneroka kayibasa jeqi.
It's very, very beneficial. I really think we can learn a lot through this booklets that the government provided us with.
Toe hierdie lockdown in was, toe help hy my om alles my brein vast te hou en
This book is very nice because it makes us remember everything and the color is very nice. Everything right there beautiful inside and I can even write in it.
Van is baie interessant. Die examples, die voorbeelde is alles wat 'n mens nodig het in 'n boekie.
So what else does the school need in terms of educational materials?
I would appreciate if you can maybe provide us with storybooks and posters and things.
Veral ook vir die skole in die plaasgebiede. waar ons soms sukkel met om dokumente te print so.
So we are using them, and the kids, they are enjoying them.
The continuation of the booklet project, it's really welcomed.
Ek wil 'n kompliment gee aan die samestellers en die uitgewers van hierdie boekie. Good job, well done. Dankie.
I don't know about you, but I had tears in my eyes just to see the results of what is actually happening out there. I mean, I've just got goosebumps all over my body, and I'm really inspired by this because so often, I mean, I've gone around the world, emceed so many functions, and you know, you have pledges for different foundations, but when you see the real grassroots results and you see the teachers that are using these wonderful workbooks, Albie, Maggie, to you and your team, and to all the partners who have joined you in the beginning, it's always hard to be the first people to join that train, right? It's much easier later down the line when every success is being done to like get part of the process. So congratulations to you and your team. I am so honored to be here tonight as your host, Michelle McLean, and as an ambassador for this wonderful trust. So please put your hands together once again for all the hard work done to this point. And I stand to be corrected. I said 11 local languages. Of course we have 12, because when you talk about sign language, how important that is. And you know, when we started wearing the masks, I realized that from my swimming days that I'm half deaf. So I couldn't actually understand what people were saying behind their masks. And it was so important. My mom and my sister learned sign language during the COVID time because there were many, many people that actually felt quite debilitated, because I then realized, you know, I was actually watching people's mouths. So let's never forget the importance of sign language. And to come up on stage to help us tonight with sign language, we'd like to call on Olga Jose. Please, can you join us? Thank you so much. You should have been here from the beginning, right? But we have asked Olga to join us because it is a huge honor and privilege for me to invite this evening a lady that I've worked with for many years in different ways, back and forth, and we're here tonight again on stage. But please do welcome our keynote speaker here tonight, our Deputy Minister of Education, Arts and Culture, Honorable Faustina Cayley. Please join us up on stage. Your wisdom is so, so appreciated. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Director of Ceremonies. As I was introduced, I have only one task this evening, to deliver the message from the patron, who couldn't unfortunately be with us, our Minister, Anangi Pondoka. So I want just to do that. Director of Ceremonies, the France Ambassador to Namibia, Your Excellency, nice to see you again. And all Your Excellencies, members from the Diplomatic Corps, our country representative, UNICEF, Madam Rachel Odede, Mr. Albert Botha, Chief Executive Officer, Namibia Media Holdings, captains of industries, business communities, distinguished invited guests, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. I sincerely welcome you to this event. It's so special to us in the Ministry of Education, Arts and Culture. And it's pleasing me to stand in front of such a big gathering this evening with common purpose, and that is taking education in Namibia to the next level. We all know that the education sector has suffered enormously because of the COVID-19 pandemic. It was a big challenge that the victims were and still are, most of them innocent individuals, our children, school learners, who look at faces of their teachers, their parents, their guardians. Look at the faces of people working in the government, and in fact, all of us, to give them hope and answer to so many questions they have. They couldn't understand when these things happen. The dilemma we found ourselves at that time is that gatherings were restricted and at times even halted due to this pandemic. It hit education sector badly as we all witnesses the effect of the pandemic. It's on us, which also led to total close down in some cases of all our schools, and hence severe interruption of teaching and learning. The government has done all it possible could. However, the truth is that all protocols and regulations around COVID-19 globally were done on trial basis. This was something new, as no country had prepared itself fully for this pandemic. I am pleased to announce that as emergency response to COVID-19, the government of Republic of Namibia thought it wise and made, at that time, 800 million in response to the pandemic, to the Ministry of Education, Arts and Culture, money we didn't have in the ministry. As we all know, education is the biggest sector in the government structure, so its need also very big in order to deliver inclusive, equitable, access quality education to all our children in the country. The arrival of these uninvited guests in the name of COVID-19 only came to worsen the issues around equity and continuing accessibility, as mentioned already by the previous speakers. On our call to stakeholders and to our friends of education, when all our hands were tied through this pandemic, they came to us and rescued us in the ministry. These friends we proudly address today as Namibia Media Holders, UNICEF, Amos Meerkat syllabus, the schools, as the teachers testified in the video, the Namibian Community Trust, as well as our involved teachers, made it possible to the project to provide learning support material. The teachers you heard about this evening, the teacher you saw in the video, these are dedicated teachers with a passion of education. They really sacrificed their time, but they did it with passion. We can only appreciate their work. And it was made possible project to provide this learning support materials. This emergency response to COVID-19 lockdown started in 2020, as we heard, in collaboration and in partnership with Namibia Media Holdings and UNICEF, and continuing the whole from March 2020, 2021. Reflecting on this difficult time, we recognize that over 12 million booklets, as mentioned, already have been delivered to 14 regions across Namibia. How they managed to reach up to Kunene, Zambezi, is only them knows. These booklets focus on ensuring that education continue uninterrupted for the pre-primary and junior primary learners. I wish you could see us in the office. I'm now reflecting, thinking an academic year. Without these good friends, we couldn't achieve what we did. I just want to applaud all of you who supported us. The project is one of the largest in education, where the public institution of education and private businesses teamed up and worked collaboratively. In particular, 8 teachers and 2 senior education officers who supplied learning content in line with the syllabus for the education materials. There were total 18 translators, as we had, and 2 sign language teachers and 2 online school teachers. All content taken through quality assurance progress with officials of the National Institute for Education Development, known as NIED, and Program and Quality Assurance, known as PQA. The booklets were translated in 12 languages. I don't need to repeat, you heard all the names of the 12 languages, including the sign language. Ladies and gentlemen, now I'm speaking on behalf of my minister. As the minister responsible for education, arts and culture in Namibia, I'm so delighted this evening, very happy, and I want to inform you that what started as an emergency response to COVID-19 pandemic has now fully culminated into a substantive program which did not only provide the learning materials, but also capacitated the teachers and education officers who contributed to its success. Hence, a multi-win-win situation for all was involved. For further sustainability and keeping the momentum of this great initiative rolling forward and what referred to as earlier as at the next level, we have now gathered to this end to bring to life the African Child Development Trust. The establishment of this trust is for the purpose of catering this program, supporting continuing uninterrupted, inclusive, quality education. The ministry, together with other stakeholders, has agreed to this program to continue for the next 3 years to come. It is our joint intended that the provision of this booklet will continue. We wish to see that in future, these are being distributed to all the regions and schools, even during the full-time school attendance and enrichment for the junior primary phase. I have to pause here. Your investment in these little ones is the right thing to do, because now we can lay the foundation correct. As we will proceed through primary, secondary, and give to tertiary, it is then we ensure that the harvest will be of quality. I really, really appreciate it. And as the whole ministry, from the bottom of our heart, we appreciate, because laying the foundation was always a problem, but now we have friends who will support us. This is planned against the background that as we did not see COVID pandemic coming, and that we were never prepared for the lockdowns or closures of our school, we still cannot get comfortable. It thought that the pandemic was and is a thing of the past. You know, I just still can't believe. I can only say, thank God, here we are. I'm without a mask. Director of Ceremonies, the African Child Development Trust is a non-profitable fund with the Minister of Education, Arts and Culture, Honorable Anna Estangi-Pondoka as the patron, and will be administered by 5 independent trustees, being the Executive Director, and then Sanet Steenkamp, you saw her speaking there, and then MTC CEO, Mr. Tim Ekanjo, Ms. Maggie Mbako, Ms. Shani Bota, and Ms. Otavia Tibes. The trustee will, going forward, ensure that the project is sustainable by reaching out to all of you in the room. As mentioned already, let us keep hands together. This room and others who could not make it tonight, as well as to the international organization to solicit funds for these projects. You know, the Ubuntu culture, we believe that it takes a village to raise a child. And it's how we see this project. Now, in that village, is you colleagues, the different people, friends to education. It takes all of us to raise a child so that we can harvest a responsible citizen of our country. The project, I don't need to bore you with the figures which was mentioned already, the $2.50 per child and the development of the book. But on top of this benefit, this is another way of fair cost sharing education. It's shared responsibility with cannot only left to the government. It is through direct of ceremony. A government alone will not make it, but with your support, we can win the struggle of providing quality education. As much as we advocate for access to fee-free education, we need to see that the ministry is only able to fund salaries of the teachers. This is what we say is fee-free education. So when we pay the teachers, build some infrastructures, utilities, and few projects, there will always be a need to contribute to enrich, but also to keep up the standard while the learner numbers are increasing in proportionate to the available resources. There are still about 17.5% of schools without electricity, while about 10.8% of schools, as per EMIS report 2020, and only 531 schools with computer rooms. We recognize the benefit of ICT in education, yet the digital divide is immense, and only together we need to explore further how we could narrow this gap. I'm happy to see that on the people who will steer the project, so team is there, MTC will be joining us and then steer it further. Together, we will need to set a higher target for our children and work jointly together achieving this. I'm about to finish. Besides the material resources which need to be boosted, there's also service delivery that needs to be strengthened. Laying a proper foundation for successful learning depends also on the well-attended the first 1,000 days in the children's lives, which then articulate to ECD care or provision of quality development support through kindergartens and pre-primary education. And pre-primary is now part of formal junior primary education. And yet, only 55% of all our children, enter grade 1 who went through pre-primary education. So it's still a long way to go. What I'm stating here is that we still need to join hands in making pre-primary 100%, as said, accessible first year at school for all eligible children. And in earnest, I need us to close this gap in record time, because times when it comes to education, we must work as fast as we can, because as much as the Ministry of Education, Arts and Culture anticipate taking on ECD as our responsibility, it has to continue a joint initiative as a public entity together with actors like this trust and other community of church efforts. We are fully aware of the current brainstorm innovative funding models, such as that of Social Impact Bond, as well as the unique partnership with Africa Child Development Trust. We need each other for the improvement of education, input and output, holding each other accountable as we are in shapes of makers our own destiny. Only if we are united for the purpose, we will achieve the success which all of us want. Yes, teaching and learning support materials are much needed ingredient in the provision of quality education. So we need to continuously strengthen and build our teachers' capacity. We keep asking ourselves how much learning actually takes place at every level, and so need to reinstitute national standard achievement tests. But it is not more important that we support the teachers to do the formative assessment better, so that they can better scaffold the learning for our children in order to improve learning achievements. For this capacity building resources are required also. Establishing of professional council for teachers to register with is all one of the stepping stones. They can be further assist each other, as this capacity building program would be a substantial ingredient to the registration of professional development children. Equally, every learner needs to be inspired every day afresh by all the opportunities that exist out there. Teachers need to mirror the prospects of learning, the careers or innovations that are awaited to discovered for the ultimate turnaround of all our challenges into opportunities, and hence pave the way for plain knowledge-based economy, where we are built our potential with knowledge and skills unique to us, such they become marketable and delivery service excellence. Sometimes bad thing must happen, like COVID, and then we discover the gem and we move forward, strengthen. As the patron of Africa Child Development Trust and the minister responsible for education in the Republic of Namibia, it is my honor and privilege to officially launch the trust. And may I invite the trustee to join me on the stage so that I declare this trust launch. I thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Honourable Deputy Minister Christina. That was an inspirational speech indeed, and here is the reveal.
It is my distinct honor to declare this trust tonight launched. Thank you.
So we have a gift for Honourable Deputy Minister, and we'd like to ask Albie to come up and present this gift. that looks like a nice goodie bag. That looks like an incredibly nice goodie bag. I might just make sure you're sitting next to me. I don't take it with me. Thank you so much to our wonderful trustees. Albie, I don't know if you want to say a few words before we move on to our online messages. Okay. I like the way they all sidle away, you know. It's okay. It's taken me years to get used to being up on stage. But thank you. Please put your hands together again for this amazing committee and the trustees. We trust in you to do a fantastic job. So thank you so much for your endeavors and for being there for this foundation. So, as I said before, we all need to be ambassadors for this kind of endeavor in Namibia, which is educating our children. And thank you so much, Deputy Minister, for your inspiring speech. You've always been a great orator and very inspirational. And you're right, the teachers also out there need to be just encouraged each and every day when you see the working conditions and everything that they have to do every single day to inspire the children. If you go out there, each and every one of you individually, and you go and see what they do, I give my absolute hat off and heart to all our social workers in the medical business and in the education industry. So if you get a chance, you have to go and see what they do every single day. Without further ado, we also have amongst us other educationalists, and they're unfortunately not with us tonight, but we have messages from them. So before we listen to these messages, I just want to say, we will be having dinner soon. I'm sure you're all pretty hungry. And just remember, on your table, there is a pledge form. So you are welcome to look at the pledge form, fill that in. You can also go online, if you're probably on your WhatsApp looking at that while I'm talking. It's www.acdtrust.com. So it's acdtrust.com. And you can go on there and put your pledge on there. And later on in the evening, we are going to announce the various pledges that have been made. And we have a stunning lineup already of amazing support. So I'm going to be sharing that with you after dinner. You also have a QR code on your table, which you can use. Lovely technology, right? So much easier now. Okay, so just remember that. You've got your pledge form online, and you've got your QR on your tables as well. So before we have dinner, we're just going to listen to a couple of these inspirational educationalists that can't be here with us tonight. Enjoy.
For me, it's important that we need to buy in that every child matters. And every child deserves not just a first chance, but a second chance. Well, I'm Sanet Steenkamp, the Executive Director for the Ministry of Education, Arts and Culture. Education has always been my first love. I started my career as an unqualified teacher, and I have the firm belief that every child matters equally, and that it is our responsibility, along with stakeholders, to ensure that we can provide not just quality education, but an education that is easily accessible, but also inclusive, and that value every single child. Well, I'm motivated by the joy and the love that a child can give so innocently. And I think it's important that we do not lose track of the significance of our roles that we play in bringing children into a healthy world, into a world where they are loved and that they are taken care of. And seeing that children spend most of the time at school, it's imperative that we have not just school as a safe place, but also school as a learning place, but where children are allowed to be free to play, to learn as they grow and play. We need to be aware that the first 1,000 days in any child's life is the most important. This trust, the African Child Development Trust, focus not just on the social and educational needs of a child. It focuses on the holistic well-being of a child. It's important that we realize that early childhood development and junior primary education deserves most of our time, energy, and investment. And the benefits that we will get out of that would definitely outweigh all the costs. And therefore, we have the moral obligation. And it's the right thing to do to invest in early childhood development. Why? Why do we need to invest in early childhood development? Why do we need to make sure that most of our funding, even in government, are prioritized for junior primary phases? It's because that if we do that now, we stand a chance for any child to become an excellent reader, a mathematician, to have not just academic outcomes, but also to take all the soft skills that we in the corporate world would require to foster a productive and responsible citizen of the country. So that investment is absolutely crucial, that we put our funding to the needs of the child in early childhood development, but also in the junior primary phases. The ideal situation for me would be that every child in ECD would be in school. We have currently only 20% of the children between the ages of 0 and 6 are in an ECD center. We currently only have 52% of children the ages of 7, 6, 7 who must be in pre-primary are in pre-primary school. We need to open up access. We need to invest more in the foundation phases if we want to see children growing into adults that can analytically and objectively lead debates, robust debates, and contribute to an economy, contribute to building this country of ours. But we need to start there. I would love to see every child in school. I would love to see happy children in schools. And I'd love to see that we make the necessary investment, because currently that's not the case. We need, in terms of policy, and we need, in terms of priority, put those on the top of our list to expand the investment that is currently very low on early childhood development and junior primary phase. We live in such a beautiful country. Namibia is one of the most beautiful countries in the world. I wouldn't want to live anywhere else. We've got excellent brain power, excellent human resources. We've got the expertise in the corporate world, in the private sector, and in public service. Why can we not combine that into a collaborative effort? And this is what I see with this African Child Development Trust. You have a combination of brain power, of expertise, of experience, of passion, of drive, tenacity, of people who want to see things happen in the country, who want to invest now. And I think that should be the aim. As a trustee, I'm absolutely excited. It will not just broaden my own horizons within the education sphere, but I'll have the opportunity to closely work with donors, development partners, which we already do, but also other corporate companies, and to draw in people and to learn from them. And I think that is the excitement, that we will find a sustainable way of funding projects for children, allowing them to create and start off a culture of reading that we so need in this country, a culture of honest debating that we so need in this country. And I think those are the things that make me excited to be part of this African Child Development Trust.
When I left my position at PricewaterhouseCoopers as their CEO in 2004 to found the African Leadership Institute, I did it because to the core of my being, I believe that Namibia should be the example to Africa, and Africa should be the hope for the world. But friends, we have so many challenges in this very unique, special continent of ours. And we need to solve our own challenges. And that's why we need to get involved at the right time with the right things. I remember how I brought a few school principals together, secondary school principals many years ago. And the reason why I brought them together is because everybody tried to tell me that our results in grade 10, 11, and 12 are good enough, and we can compete with the rest of the world. And I didn't feel comfortable with it. So I took 3 of the top 10 students in grade 12 around the world to let them see if they can compete with the rest of the world. They came back and said, we can't. We can't compete to the average student overseas. I told the secondary principals that, the principals I've trained, they said the problem is not us. When the students coming into the schools in grade 8, they're not ready. They can't write, they can't read, they can't do mathematics. You need to talk to the primary school principals. So I brought them in and said, we've got a problem. Help me out. What is going on? You know what they said? They said, our problem is earlier. It is the pre-primary. They're not ready pre-primary in grade 1, 2. Not enough is happening there. So we've got a bigger problem. In leadership, we can't put out fires all the time. In leadership, we need to invest at the right time in the right things. In leadership, it's to invest your resources, your time, your money, in the most important things at the right time. This is what we teach our African Leadership Institute students. Isn't that something we need to think about? Because, friends, we've got many challenges, and where should we solve it here in Africa? I remember many years ago I attended a conference overseas, and it's a whole week long, a leadership conference. And that right at the end, the leader who organized it all, he went to the podium and he spoke, and it was a short speech. It was something about this. I do not care, he said, what you are busy with. I know you're doing a lot of good things, but I want to encourage you. Double your efforts in the youth. Double your efforts in the young people in your nation. And I've realized this is what we should do. You know, they told me about the guy who ran into the train station. He wants to buy a ticket for the 8 o'clock train. And the guy selling the tickets told him the train left. And he said, but that's not possible. There's still 2 minutes left. He said, sir, I don't care what watch you're going by, but the 8 o'clock train left at 8 o'clock. There's a Kairos time in a nation's history. I think our Kairos time is that we need to invest more effectively in the African child. That's an investment you will never regret. That's the investment that is a Kairos investment, and that is now. Jim Elliot said, he is no fool who gives up what he cannot keep in order to gain what he cannot lose. May God have mercy on us, and may He bless you.
So please enjoy your dinner, and we'll be back with you shortly. Right now, we've come to that time of the evening where it's the pledge part of the evening. I know I've given you information about how you can pledge. You've got your forms on the table, your QR little sign, as well as the online opportunity to pledge. Before we go into that, I'm going to invite the personality behind Namibia Media Holdings. Jochanan, I think you have to come up on stage. Apparently, I never know what he's got up his sleeve, but he's coming up on stage.
Hi there, Michelle. How are we doing, everyone? I think we can do a bit better. We're out here for the children. I think we can do better.
Lovely to see you.
Always lovely to see you, Michelle.
Where's your apple bar?
Yes, I asked them, but they were like, no, you have to let Michelle shine. So I'll let my personality kind of fill the room. Awesome. Yeah. Michelle, thank you so much once again for being part of this evening. And I think, how does it feel to be back at the country club that was, built in part due to your success at Miss Universe?
Well, let me say, I have to say to Tony Boucher, he does a phenomenal job here. But when it was built, we had the Miss Universe pageant in Namibia, remember, in 1995. I was part of that coordination team. Literally, the hotel was being built as the ladies arrived, 89 of them from around the world. Literally, there were ceilings being built. This room was the bigger auditorium. And I would have like voices down the passage say to me, well, the ceiling's open in my bathroom. Their eyes looking at me. And then we'd say, oh, right, they're just fixing that part of the building, that's fine. No, we had the best time here. And, when we did build this together with the government, we obviously did a great thing for Namibia. I had the Minister of Tourism the year after. We had the Miss Universe pageant here in 1995 say that tourism increased by 11% the following year. So there were 1 billion eyeballs on Namibia. So just to say, Albie, I'm going to hold you to this, and maybe the Ministry of Education, we are going to bring this Miss Universe pageant back here again because it's going to increase tourism and all the opportunities for Namibia and its children in the future.
Absolutely.
We're going to work on that one.
Yeah.
So did I take the wind out of your sail yet?
No, absolutely not. You took my breath away, but I mean, that's a given.
Woo! It's hot here on stage.
But Michelle, it's always good to see you, but I remember one instance. You had just gotten back from Thailand after winning Miss Universe.
Don't you want to stand closer to me?
Oh, yeah, definitely. And
I can't take my mic with me.
I was 4 years old at the time, right?
Oh,
I already been watching you. No, wait. So, like the rest of the country, I had my eyes glued. Like my whole family was, huddled around the TV watching you just, I wouldn't say slaughter the competition, but just sashay over the competition.
You want to try walk? Try walk with me.
Okay, let's go.
Okay, 1, 2, 3. No, you standing.
Yeah.
So everyone can see you.
Okay.
Okay, we're walking this way.
Okay.
Okay, and wave.
Yeah.
Wave to the audience.
There we go. Am I getting the extension right? Thank you for the lesson. But then, we ran into my mother and I, and you ever so graciously agreed to take a photo with me. And like my aunt has that somewhere, she kind of just grabbed up all the photo albums, and then you gave me the softest peck on the cheek, right? And in my 4-year-old mind, I was like, Michelle's my wife. I'm done. I'm good. But somehow, Michelle, I don't know, we just drifted apart,
I'm so sorry.
You went all across the world flying the flag high.
It's a bit challenging, to live across the world and to not marry every man I meet.
Exactly.
It's a bit challenging.
So you're out in the world, just spreading our message, putting us on the map. I'm at kindergarten wondering what happened. And then years went by, and then you and Gary happened. And I know he's a Manchester United legend back from when the team was still good. But
well, we have a lot of problems at home regarding that. Not anything else, by the way. Everything's fine. It's just regarding Manchester United. It's a problem.
And I know it's Gary Bailey, right? So like an under-14 third team substitute doesn't really compare, but it still hurt, Michelle. It really did.
Well, my darling, I'm here more often now, and I am taking on surrogate husbands here and there because he has to stay in Miami.
Yeah.
So, hell, take me out for an evening and it'll be fine. As long as you clear it with him.
Awesome, thank you. Mr. Bailey, we'll talk. But Michelle, just to kind of celebrate that awesome moment in my life from all those years ago, can I ask for another selfie?
Of course.
There you go. Ladies and gentlemen, Michelle McLean Bailey. Thank you so much.
Oh, Jochanan, you make me feel younger in the moment, but definitely older that you were 4 years old. But like many of us women here in the room, we actually get better with age, right? So that's really important, and we get wiser. So, Deputy Honourable Minister, it is about that. It's about being wise and about being part of the process and being part of the family. And with that in mind, we're going to talk about the pledges. And I'd like to please call on stage our Honourable Deputy Minister to please initiate our first and formal pledge here tonight. And it is from Capricorn Foundation, the official pledge. We'd like to please, Marlies Horn, you are just the most amazing person. I've worked with you for so many years. Please come on stage, and we're going to announce what the amount is. Please do us the honor to reveal 500,000 Namibian dollars. Thank you to Capricorn Foundation for this amazing first pledge. Now that should make you all shiver in your boots, right? But remember what I said, everybody is able to participate at any level that you're doing. And we just want to say that there are two other great pledges here tonight, just off the cuff. You're welcome to just stay for a second. We do have, and as an ambassador of ONL Group, we have 15,000 Namibian dollars just for tonight's pledge. Thank you to ONL for their wonderful pledge here tonight. And there'll be many more projects we'll do together with the foundation. And then, of course, to Yoyoba for Namibia Trust. The gentleman, Gero, is sitting right next to me. And it's the Wealth and Inequality Foundation, and they have donated 10,000 Namibian dollars. Thank you so much, Gero. They happen to be a part of, I'm launching a new cosmetic brand, Namibian Oils, Namibian brand, and they are part of that Wealth and Inequality Foundation. So thank you to them. So these are the first ones on stage. Thank you, our Honourable Deputy Minister, appreciate it, and to Marlies Horn. Thank you very, very much. So this should set the tone, right? And here we go. So I'm going to walk around the room. You don't have to be put up on stage or anything like that, but I'm going to engage with each table and just see where we're at. And then at the end of the evening, dessert will be served as I'll walk around. And then we'll just say, we were able to raise so much money tonight. And if you want to privately, donate tomorrow or whenever, we would welcome that. So thank you so much. I'm not going to say goodbye right now, but you can enjoy dessert. And I'll be around at your tables. No pressure. No pressure at all. I'll see you now.
Friendship with French.
That amount is not in here.
Okay, we have another pledge. Fabian Joch from Horizon Capital, the amount of, I think it's, was it 5 million? No, sorry, 5,000. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Fabian. Appreciate it. 5,000 Namibian dollars. Thank you so much. Each and every cent is going to be so valuable to this process. Thank you. Okay. So we're just going to go around, not put pressure on anyone. I'm just going to put pressure on these guys with their Chivas Regal. No, I'm kidding. You just look like you Chivas Regal guys. Whenever you're ready with your pledges, we are ready for you. Okay, and you guys, are you Chivas guys, or are you like more like cigar, like, you know, the Dominican Republic cigar kind of guys? Don't know where to take this one. Whenever you guys are ready, let us know. You know where to find me. I'm here in the room. How are you guys here? She has the leverage or the money? Oh, you have the money. Okay. And who's got the signing power? You got the signing. Oh, there you go. I found a Monte Cristo and a Chivas Regal guy in one room. Thank you. Okay, we have a pledge. Ooh, what do you got here? It says other. It says other. Does that mean 100 million? No, it's fine. I don't have my glasses on. You have no idea, ladies and gentlemen, hold on to your seats. We have 50,000 Namibian dollars from Johan Loubser, DNM Rail. Baie dankie, meneer. You actually get a hug for that. That will cost you an extra 10,000, but it's okay. 4 years old, yeah. Well, you look like you're like 22, so yeah. Anyway, it's my future husband. Okay, thank you so much. That is absolutely amazing. 50,000 Namibian dollars. Right, so anybody who is prepared to weasel out and leave the room, you're not going to leave without dealing with me. How's this table doing? Authorization, okay. How can I assist you with authorization? Okay, we have authorization, yay, we got authorization. Oh, that's wonderful. Thank you, Helena Mutseng, for 5,000 Namibian dollars. Thank you. Thank you so, so much. This is amazing, guys. Look at what we raised just in one night. Imagine what we can do together in the days and the months and the years to come. So thank you all for your participation and being here tonight. I'm so overwhelmed that you're all here to support us. Thank you. And from the whole group of us, before we say a final goodbye after your desserts, we don't want you to leave. We just want to say a very big thank you. And if there are any other pledges, you'll let me know.
Would you believe it? You don't have to say you love me. You don't have to say nothing. You don't have to say you're mine. Oh, honey, I walk the fire for you. Just let me adore you. Oh, honey, I walk through fire for you. Just let me adore you. Like it's the only thing I'll ever do. Like it's the only thing I'll ever do. Your wonder under some skies. Brown skin and lemon over eyes. Would you believe it? Oh, you don't have to say you love me. I just wanna tell you something. Lately you've been on my mind. I walk the fire for you. Just let me adore you. Oh, honey, I walk through fire for you. Just let me adore you. Like it's the only thing I'll ever do. Like it's the only thing I'll ever do. Oh, honey, I walk the fire for you. Just let me adore you. Oh, honey, I walk through fire for you. Just let me adore you. Like it's the only thing I'll ever But all he ever wanted was to have a little fun. But now you come along and brighten up my world. In my heart I feel it, I'm that special kind of girl.
Hello, hello. Everyone still awake? Great. Well, hope you enjoy your meal and the wonderful dessert. I am so excited to share with you tonight, and thank you for your generosity and for being here and joining us in partnership in this wonderful, wonderful cause. And we look forward to seeing you again very, very soon. But unfortunately, the evening has come to an end. But I am so excited, so very, very excited to share with you what our final pledge is. But before I do that, hold on to your seats. I want to say a few thank yous first. And to do that, I've got to make sure that I get everybody in here. So firstly, Honourable Minister, thank you for being with us tonight. You have been amazing and inspirational, and thank you for your custodianship of this project, as well as the patron, the Honourable Minister, and we look forward to seeing you very soon. We thank the Windhoek Country Club Resort and Casino for this amazing evening. Thank you, Tony Boucher and your team. It's always a pleasure to be here. I'm sure you enjoyed your meals tonight. And to Cominic and Frank and Distel for the wine here tonight. Thank you very much. We really appreciate that. I certainly enjoyed it. To Conso Ave for the stage and audiovisual, you have worked so hard tonight. Thank you. We really appreciate you capturing all this wonderful passion and take it out into the world. That's what we hope you do. So without further ado, Albie, Maggie, our trustees, thank you for all your hard work. And to each and every one of you, I hope you have a great night tonight, the rest of the night. Our pledge, ending tonight, but it doesn't end, obviously, you can still go online, is up to the number of 585,000 Namibian dollars. Because of you, we were able to achieve this. Thank you. Thank you so, so very much. I'm so glad I can read out those amounts. I'm not a very good person at numbers. But thank you so very much. This is an important start to this process and this African Child Foundation Trust. So thank you. We are looking forward to seeing you soon. Please drive safely, take care, and we'll see you very, very soon in the near future. Good night. Good night, everyone. Oh, Maggie's coming up.
And to the wonderful lady here, you were gorgeous, you were excellent, you were super good. Thank you so much. A little token of appreciation from the team to take with to Miami.
I think I'm going to finish this with you. I've got my surrogate while my husband's in Miami. You and me will party.
Thank you.
Thanks again. Thanks, Maggie. Thanks to the team. And thank you to the African Child Development Trust for everything that you are doing and going to do in the future. I'm so proud to be a part of it. Good night, everyone. Be safe. All right, now, anybody want to come up stage and dance? We'll pay you 5,000 Namibian dollars. No, I'm just kidding. Please rise for the AU and the Namibian National Anthem.
Let us dedicate ourselves to rise together.
Thank you and good night, everybody. Thank you for joining us. Great celebrations. Thank you.